So parenting teens, yeah, I'm nearly through parenting 3 teenagers, and I can say hand on heart, it presents its challenges. But I suppose I have found out one thing, and it's this, that the strength of my relationship is ultimately the only control that I have over my teens. I think I did it differently in the past. I thought I could control them. But when you try to control, what happens is that the behaviour just goes underground. One of mine said to me there recently, you know, that she had a Bebo account for years, but I never knew because I had obviously banned the Bebo account. So it's not a good idea to over-control, because what happens is then if they have a problem with the Bebo account or the Facebook account or whatever account they have, well, who is the one person that they don't feel they can come to? And it's you. So we know that over-controlling doesn't work, and over-protection presents its own challenges. Many parents come to me and they do everything for their children. In their teen years, they're making their school lunches. Now, the reality is children need to learn to do things for themselves. And at the various milestone, a child of 7 can make their own lunches. But when those milestones are missed and the parent continues to do things for the child, thereby overprotecting them, saying, oh, you're too small and I'll do it for you or whatever, what you do is you just create helplessness in that child. They become dependent. They don't actually become enabled in the way that they need to be. And it means that down the line, when you want them to do things, they're saying, I can't do it. And they genuinely believe they can't actually do it. So unfortunately, in the case of overprotection, it's often mothers who overprotect their children. And in the teen years, it does them no good. Because children need to have made so many decisions and made so many choices all the way along in order to be able to make good choices about, you know, alcohol, drugs, drink, sex, etc. And how can they possibly make all those decisions if they haven't had, you know, lots and lots of opportunities to make decisions? So one of the key things to do in the teen years is to listen. It's less about talking, ironically, and it's more about listening. And it's also trying to keep lines of communication open, because I know many people, and I've been there myself, where you have a teen who's tuned into the technology, the earphones are in, they're on their phone constantly. And time again I'll say to them, and I know this from my own experience, that when a child is connected into phones and all the technologies all of the time, it really is because they need to connect somewhere. And if I'm not connected into family, I'm going to connect somewhere else. So it's really around, if I build my relationship with that teenager, ironically, you'll find that they're less with the headphones in and on the phones. So it really is around that the need is to connect. And that's what brings me into the whole realm of peer pressure. Peer pressure is not a problem unless the parent-child relationship is not as it should be. So again, it comes back to the strength of that relationship. So how do I have a good relationship with my teenager? I think a lot of the time it's just to be there and, you know, when they're ready to chat, to make the time. I find they like to be fed. I find really feeding them seems to always work. And just to create that time, that it doesn't need to be an interrogation, but it's just about that you like spending time with them. So maybe, you know, around bring them out for a cup of coffee or a bit of lunch or whatever, getting involved in the sports that they have, supporting them, you know, staying involved in what's happening in school, projects, study, all of that. And just being there to say if there's anything I can do to help. Because I don't think it's easy being a teenager nowadays. And it's so important that when they hit a bump in the road that they've got somebody that they can come to.